good morning or afternoon, and thanks for joining me today. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if you're new to the channel. My name is Mark, this is Spiguyver Backpacking, and this channel is all about getting out, doing things in the outdoors, exploring, finding adventure, backpacking gear, hiking gear, hammocks, tents, you name it. That's what this is about. Today we're actually out back at Harriman. You know, I've been avoiding 2-day weekends. Every other weekend for me is a 3-day weekend, so I've been avoiding the 2-day weekends, getting out. But why? So tonight we're just out. We're just gonna do a simple, short overnighter. No big miles. I doubt we even get 20 miles in the entire weekend, but it's about getting out, getting the pack on my back, hitting the trail, and spending some time out here where I am most at home, where I really am the happiest. So let's get out here and do this. Let's go. Okay, before we really get going, I gotta apply some bug stuff. Don't need any ticks. I've had enough of those in my life. So last night I actually retreated all my clothes with permethrin, and I've got the Sawyer Picardin lotion, and so I'm just gonna put this on me and just kind of protect myself from those bugs. So it's August right now, early August, but the weather is perfect for a backpacking trip. So high today is like 79. It is absolutely beautiful. I don't know if there's a cloud in the sky. And the low tonight is gonna get down to 62. So really nice for summer backpacking. I mean, this is about as good as it gets for an August day. Amazing. If there's ever a berry I want to come upon on the trail, it's wild blueberries. I love these things. So sweet, so good. There's berry bushes all around. You can see all of this over here. These are all blueberry bushes. They're not super loaded right now, but there are enough. So I believe that right over there, that mountain is the Timp. And so we're gonna go down and meet with the Timp for a minute, go over that, and then get back off onto the RD trail. Okay, so there is running water right here, and this will be a spot that for like 400 feet here, we'll be on the same trail coming back as we were going out. And it happens to be right where there's some water. Now from here, we're gonna go that direction and do a loop, come back. When we pass here, we're probably well under a mile to camp. And so this is a good spot to top off, make sure we've got enough water for the night, and then head to camp. But for now, it's time to hit the trail. So I'm now on top of the Timp. Over my right shoulder is pretty much where I came from, and over the left shoulder, that's where I will be tonight. So up on that ridge, there is a shelter. It's really hard to see from here, but it is visible. But these open rocks over my right shoulder, those are where I came from. It is definitely time to reapply the Picardin. Haven't seen any ticks, fortunately, but once you're down in the woods, right here it's not too bad being out in the sun with a little bit of wind, but down where it's a little bit more stagnant, the mosquitoes are crazy. So, time to reapply. So beautiful in here. Take a look at this. So this section of trail has actually been a bit tougher than I had anticipated, and I think the distance is quite a bit longer than what I had anticipated. So we're headed downhill now. Right over here is the Hudson. Got a cool little town across, I'm not sure which one it is, but we're gonna go down, hit the Timp Torn Trail, and head back up. And yeah, it has been a butt kicker of a day, but it's good. It's something I needed. So check this out. Got railroad tracks going across. Got that town over there. Pretty nice. Wow, this has got to be an old mine. Walk up. See if there's anything we can see up here. Definitely aren't going in there though. Wow, you can feel the cold air just coming out of there. Crazy. Okay, so my progress is really slow right now. I think I've got maybe 2 miles, 2.5 miles to camp, but this trail has been so rough, and you know, I haven't been out in a while, and it's beat me up pretty good. Every time I hit an incline, my legs, both of my quads, start cramping up and locking up. Now it's like down into my knees even. So every time it starts getting to the point where I feel it starting to lock, I take like a 5-10 minute break, get something to drink. I think what happened was I waited a little too long. I wasn't drinking quite enough early, and I was just drinking water, and so I wasn't getting any electrolytes or anything back into me. So I've been doing that, but I think that the stuff that I have is kind of crap, so I need to go back to something that works a little better. What I'm pretty sure I'm gonna do at this point is maybe about a mile. I've got a little bit more of this ridge walking, which is kind of up and down, and then I'll get back to the timp, and I'll go down the timp, and at the bottom is that water source. So I think I'm gonna kind of set up down there for a little while, do up a soup that's got a lot of electrolytes, a lot of salts and goodness to it, get that in me, probably spend a half hour there, because after leaving there it is all uphill, steep, some points where I have to use hands to climb up to West Mountain Shelter, which is where I'm aiming to go for the day. Plus I've got to carry water up there, so more water than what I've got on me, which is more weight to carry up that. All right, so I made it. Leg was not happy coming up that hill, and that's probably one of the steepest hills of the day. So, you know, got up after having that soup, drinking some, and I was pretty stiff. Plus, I've got more water than I've been carrying all day. But this is the spot. I've got two trees right there. Be a good spot. So I think it's about time anyway to do dinner. And have to get lathered up, because I don't know if you guys can see, but the mosquitoes are all over. So good. Everything's rehydrated. Tastes great. So today was definitely an interesting day. Definitely more challenging than I had expected and anticipated. The trail itself was it was a lot harder than what I thought it was going to be, which I shouldn't have thought any different. These trails out here can be extremely rugged, and I've been on some of the trails that I'm on today, so I should have known. But either way, I also thought it was going to be like under 10 miles for the day, and I'm pretty sure I was closer to 15 for the day. So yeah, the last 3 I was struggling pretty hard, cramping up quite a bit, thighs, calves. Now my feet keep cramping up, but at the end of the day, it was great to get out. I made it to where I said I was going to get to, did all of the trail that I said I was going to do, didn't shortcut anything, had to take more breaks, drink more water than I had anticipated here towards the end, but you know, really, I'm happy with the day. It hurt, but I'm happy with it. I needed my ass kicked once in a while. You know, every one of us needs our ass kicked once in a while to remind us, you know, not to take things for granted and to stay on top of things. You know, I've got a big trip coming up, Grand Canyon, rim to rim to rim, and, you know, if I perform like today, you know, I may be laying dead at the bottom, so I'm gonna have to make sure I get in the gym starting on Monday, get back to it. I've kind of let that slip a little bit, and it's time. It is time to kick that back in gear, get back to it, focus, get that drive back, and be ready. This was just that reminder that I definitely need to do that. And I apologize for the lack of content this afternoon. I just wasn't feeling it, man. I just was not feeling it. Even when I stopped and made up some soup and filtered water, I was just dragging. I was dragging hardcore. Then this last climb, I thought after I'd sat there for a half hour, 40 minutes, I was going to be good to climb this last climb, and that wasn't the case either. Probably 15 feet into the climb, started cramping up. So it was a slow go of it, but I made it. I'm here. Whew. Good morning. What an absolutely gorgeous morning it is right now. Last night, on the other hand, wasn't so great for me. It was a beautiful night. Don't get me wrong. It was an absolutely beautiful night. But the moon is still out. The moon was up last night. It was pretty bright. And I kept cramping up. Feet, calves, thighs. Yesterday was just not a great day for me. And I realized that the drink mix that I was using, you know, it doesn't pay to get the cheap stuff. It doesn't pay to get stuff that you're not really sure that it works. Things like liquid IV that have the right stuff in them, they're a little bit more expensive because they've got the right stuff in them. Now I know that right now someone's probably yelling element, yeah, which is the drink mix that so many backpacking YouTubers are talking about and just claiming is the best right now. But those people are all sponsored by that company. They're getting paid. They're getting paid to talk about them in their videos. So while they may be great, I have a little bit of trust issue there. You know, I'm not sponsored by Liquid IV. I just know that it works. I do not normally do breakfasts. Even at home, I don't do breakfast. But Peak Refuel's got this one, and after yesterday, I'm carrying it with me, and after yesterday, I feel like I should probably eat some breakfast. So I'm gonna do this one up. This one actually takes 16 ounces of water, which is the most I've seen for any of the Peak Refuel meals so far. So let's do this one up and see how it is. All right, I moved around on the rocks so that the light was a little bit better, but now it's time for judgment. So eggs, sausage, potatoes, peppers. I don't know. Instant eggs are always kind of iffy. I've only had a couple. Ova Easy eggs usually do pretty good, and then one of the ones from Outdoor Pantry has been good. Okay, this one got a little mix of everything. It's hot. Need some salt. Definitely need salt. other than that, I mean, just because of the mix of everything that's in there, you don't get too much of the eggs, and they seem to be reconstituted pretty well. Overall, not bad. Just, I think it needs a little bit more salt. Something that's easy to remedy if you know that going into it. All right, so I'm back on the trail this morning and finished up breakfast. Well, I finished up what I could eat of breakfast. That is a big meal. I have at least half of it still in my bag. So if I was to get it again, I'd make sure that I carried some salt with me, put on there, and also split it, half it before I came out here, because it's a lot. It's a whole lot. But beautiful day, beautiful trail. Let's get going. So my left leg is still not feeling great, even though I'm going downhill. The spot where it was cramping up yesterday has a twinge. It's not pleasant, but it's better that I sort this out here, figure out my, what I'm going to be drinking, how often, what I'm going to be eating, than do it on the big trip where there's no real room to fix something once it's gone bad. Now, had this happened out there, that might be the end of the trip for me. So better that I trial and error it out here local, hour from the house, no harm, no foul. It's a learning experience. So the trail that I'm on right now was the AT. Now, the thing was, coming across the Palisades Interstate, they found that it was a little bit too dangerous, and so they rerouted it up, I think, 1777, and then across into kind of the area where I parked, and then back through like Fawn Trail and over, and rejoined the AT. So it kind of routed up and around, so it went over an overpass rather than trying to cross what can be at times a very busy, somewhat dangerous highway. But this trail, it's awesome. Really a nice trail. What I just am noticing, well, I've been noticing it since I turned on it, is that they have changed the blazes. So rather than just having the white AT blaze, it now has an orange dot, orange square in the center of it. So I don't know if that's their way of delineating that this is no longer the AT. Just thought that was interesting. So this is kind of strange because I just crossed another trail and now we're back to normal blazes, normal AT blazes. Kind of weird. Guys, we're just about to wrap up this trip. Just a little bit further to go down this trail and we'll be done. Again, I want to apologize for not doing a whole lot of recording yesterday. I just got into that point where I didn't want to do anything. I just was struggling to put one foot in front of the other going down the trail. I'm sure you guys have been there, know what that's all about, know how hard that can be. But I'm always amazed when I come out here. Harriman State Park, Bear Mountain State Park, they kind of butt up against each other, and the trails kind of crisscross through both parks. I was in both of them on this trip. But we're like 45 minutes from New York City. And to be able to get out, enjoy this much wilderness, this much ruggedness, and see as few people as I saw out here, it's a little bit crazy. Crazy to imagine that something like this is so close to the city. And actually, you know, last week when Stacy was out here and we were exploring New York City, I was actually amazed at Central Park and how big the trails that were out there, and just how secluded it could feel at parts of Central Park, which I had no idea. It kind of caught me off guard. Wasn't expecting that. But anyway, guys, appreciate you guys coming along. If you have any comments, any questions, leave them down below and I will get to them. It's been a good weekend. Yeah, it wasn't quite, you know, everything didn't go quite to plan, but you learn from those experiences, or at least you better. All right, guys, I will see you down the trail. Blueberries, yummy.